Welcome into the Gridiron Grind, back for another week. It's Crew 3 and Jimmy G. Another week of football, another week on the grind. Got bets. We were both 4-4 last week, our first week with the bets. Hey, it's not a losing week, Jimmy. Not a losing
True.
week. Things could be
That's
worse.
true. It was a fun week too. So, you know,
Very fun week. Cowboys. Let's just start with the Cowboys. Cowboys literally drop the opener versus the Eagles. CeeDee Lamb, 4 drops. Well, I think they're counting that last drop. I don't say that's a drop, but he had 3 drops in
the
my
one that hit him in the face was egregious.
agreed.
That's you get paid, you got the big money. I don't even care if you're a rookie. You're still getting paid more than some people earn in their lifetime to catch the ball. Throw me out there. You know what? I can get hit in the face mask with a football for half of what he makes.
For a lot
I
less
can
money than what
catch the
CeeDee
ball.
Lamb makes.
Yeah. Save us on the cap. Jerry, if you're listening.
It was such a Cowboys football game. They played well enough to give us hope, and then can't get it done when it comes down to it. That was such a Cowboy. I just was watching it. It was such a Cowboys football game.
That was my biggest takeaway from it was I was telling a buddy, I said, or another buddy, I go, the worst thing that could have happened is now I have hope.
Yeah,
Had the Eagles come out and just drummed us, and I'd have been like, yeah, that's perfect. That's kind of what I thought going into the season. No, for a moment, we were the highest scoring team in the league, 7-0. We were the only ones to score. So I was going, look at us. We're already leading the league in offense. I was like, the worst thing that happens is now we've got a bunch of hope. And I'm telling you, the defense, and I'm not one of those guys that's just constantly like, oh, well, like I didn't like the Parsons trade. Okay. So, but I'm not one of these guys that just, oh, well, I like to go against the grain on stuff. So, but I think the defense looked better. And I don't know, like our defensive line looked better.
I thought we'd
Solomon
stop the
Thomas
run better for
and
sure. Yeah,
Breland. Yes. I'm going, man, they got some Solomon Thomas has got something left in the tank.
he does. He
I
does.
I was impressed. I didn't really to show you how much faith I had in this season. I hadn't really kept up with anything in the offseason. You and I went and watched the draft at with some
Oh, that's
friends
right.
down in
Yep.
Flex, and I forgot who our first round pick was. I had to go back and look it up.
Oh yeah.
So, and then I went, yeah, it's the lineman, Tyler Booker. Like, da, da, da. And then I didn't even know we got Solomon Thomas. I didn't
Yep.
even realize we got Kenneth Murray,
Kenneth Murray's a
K9,
big pickup.
100
Yeah.
pounds. And I'm telling you, our run stopping, like I like the way our defensive line played. So they surprised me. Like I said, the worst thing that could happen is that now I have hope.
Hmm.
And this is the put up or shut up week, because this will be like were we just playing up for the Eagles in this division game, defending Super Bowl champs, or is this how we're going to play all season?
Well, the good news, I mean, we all chalked that game up to a loss heading into the season, and we lost. We played better than everybody thought, so it gives us hope, but it ended up being a loss, which we all thought was going to be a loss anyway. So we're right where we thought, and we played better. We Cowboys host the Giants this week, and I will say the Cowboys have just dominated the Giants
Hmm.
the last decade and really longer. Their whole history, they've dominated the Giants. Dak Prescott has his best record against an NFC East team is against the Giants. I think he's only lost to him twice, and that was his first season. Now we've lost to him a couple times when Dak's been injured, but Dak's only
Hmm.
lost to him 2, maybe 3 times. I can't remember a third, but he did lose to him twice his rookie season. But he's performed very well against the Giants in his career. The Giants looked horrendous last week. If the Cowboys don't win this week, oh my goodness, it is I think it's a big week to get the fan base to keep the hope alive. And I really want them to look good. I think they can look good. The Giants, I think, are bad. Russell Wilson is terrible.
And that might be the biggest. That would be worth. I mean, not actually worth it, but that'd be worth like a 30 for 30, and he's 60 or something. Like the rise and fall of Russell Wilson.
Yes.
That guy went from Super Bowl, probably Hall of Fame career trajectory, MVP, best quarterback in football, literally in one season, the second half of the season, he just fell off, and it's
Yep.
like he's still falling. That is mind-boggling to me because the guy was just so good. And it's just crazy that in one season, what about 5 or so years ago? I'm
Yep.
sure I'm mixing it up. His last, like I think his second to last season in Seattle, it was just like he
Mhm.
was having an MVP caliber season, and then boom, fell off the face of the earth. And
I mean,
I don't understand.
there's rumors that he just never really has fully recovered from some of the injuries he had, and maybe that has something to do with it. But you see it with a couple quarterbacks, like Kirk Cousins. He's just done.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not even gonna get benched last year. I mean, he's just they lose it. Matt Ryan had it, and then he's done. Some of these quarterbacks, it's just it's a they have a lifespan. Not all of them are Tom Brady, and even what Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looked good last week playing for the Steelers.
yeah,
Um,
golly,
so it's funny, they did a 15-year reunion from when the Packers won the Super Bowl in 2010, but the MVP quarterback couldn't make it because he's still playing 15 years later and throwing for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
that's
Um, I
hilarious.
thought that was kind of funny, but he looked good. I tell you what, I was high on the Packers, and I thought that Parsons trade made them a Super Bowl contender, and they dominated the Lions. I picked them. Me and you kind of went against each other. I just kind of saw that one coming. I felt like I was on the right side. And then we're recording this Thursday night, and they're putting it on the Commanders right now. Started third quarter 14-3. Looks like they're probably going to win that game. I think the Packers are the real deal. Eagles, I think it's going to be Packers and Eagles are the two teams to beat in the NFC. Outside of that, I mean, the Cowboys, there's no reason the Cowboys, from what I saw, I watched quite a bit of NFL games in the NFC anyway. I think the Cowboys, if they can somehow keep that up for a season, they'll have a chance at making the playoffs. Now, they're not going to beat the Eagles or Packers and maybe even the Commanders when it comes to the playoffs, but this team could make the playoffs. Now, the AFC is loaded.
Yeah,
AFC, the Chiefs might be the fifth or sixth best team in the AFC.
and that's crazy to say because they're, I mean, year in, year out, you can put money on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
nobody's calling you an idiot.
We
You
we
know,
talked about it in our preview. I think they're on the downward trend. I think the
yeah,
Chiefs are on the downward trend. That Bills Ravens game, if you watch that Sunday night, what a game.
golly,
Week one, what a game. I had the Bills, and somehow I still ended up covering that game. Unbelievable.
how about that?
What a game, though. Bills, I like the Bills, I like the Ravens. The Chargers, I think, are going to be some damage this year. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, they have a terrible record in the first 2 weeks of the season. Well, they actually won last week, so you know they're going to be around. AFC is loaded. So Cowboys, Giants this week. I think it's a noon kickoff. I expect the Cowboys to win. I really expect them to dominate, but I'll just take a win. CD needs to have a
Yeah,
big game. CD's got to bounce back. I think Deron Bland is going to be out for quite a bit of time. Let me get your take on Spitgate real quick. Jalen Carter ends up not even getting suspended and only gets fined like $55,000, I think it was. Was that what it was?
yeah,
I
something
thought
like that.
that I don't think that was enough, but what I mean, you can't be spitting in a guy's face because then you saw he does it on Thursday night, and then you see a college team, what was it, a guy from Florida spitting in that guy's
Yeah,
face. I mean, it's just you can't do that. And they say Dak spit, but he obviously spit on the ground. He was talking to his teammates. Um,
yeah.
Dak didn't receive any
I
punishment.
didn't think Dak. I didn't
No.
think Dax was, and even if Dak was, it's how many times in the NFL does the second guy get caught? Look at the face mask. Look at even
Yep.
in that same game. You've got DeJean or Blankenship, one of the two white guys in the secondary there for Philly, is pulling on, is it Pickens? Who did
Yep.
we get the personal foul on? Pulling on his
Pickens.
face mask, and then he hits second, and that's who
Second.
gets caught. Going,
Yep.
if the NFL's taught you nothing, it's that the retaliation gets caught always. So if Dak was talking crap and spitting it, da da da, like that's not an argument because it wasn't seen. The only one that was seen was Jalen Carter's.
Yep.
And I'm going, you know, I I think it should have been at least, I don't know, maybe a game. Maybe they go because it's the first game of the season and he technically is suspended a game because he got kicked out. And maybe that's why they only gave him a fine. I guess I
Yeah.
could see that.
Well, I think
But
they suspended him for one game, but they're giving him credit for the last game, I think is what I saw. So he's not going to
mm,
miss any extra time. He's not going to miss any more
right.
game time. I thought it was a light suspension given how it unfolded. But all right, let's transition to college football. What a weekend for college football last weekend. Anytime you think you got a dud of a weekend, we didn't really have much ranked matchups. It was just OU Michigan. Ended up being a phenomenal weekend of college football. You had great games. The South Florida game, South Florida upsets them,
That's their
and
second. Boise State and now Florida, South Florida Bulls.
and now they're finally ranked, but they have the best resume. They have two top 25 wins.
Yeah,
No one else has that. I think I would have put them in the top 10. I know it's South Florida, but you have two ranked wins. Not only that, two road ranked wins. I think South Florida, and then not only
one of them
that,
in the swamp.
one of them's in the swamp.
Notoriously,
It ain't
everyone
my
wants to call it
fault.
the toughest place to play. One
South
of the
Florida
toughest.
is good. I've watched both games now. I watched the second half against Florida and the whole game against Boise State. They opened up on a Thursday night to open the season. South Florida's good. Now, I don't think they're going to beat Miami this week. And if they do, I'd rank them number one. If they beat Miami,
Golly,
South
yeah.
Florida, that'd be three ranked games in a row, three road games in a row. Um, I'd put them number one over Ohio State, even though Ohio State's probably better, but Ohio State has the Texas win. Well, South Florida would have three of those wins. So we're gonna break that game down. We can start with it. Number 18, South Florida at number 5, Miami. Now the line is 17 and a half. That's what the line was for Florida. That might be a little much. I'm just worried how much South Florida has in the tank. Um, if it was maybe 14, I would consider taking Miami. 17 and a half, I don't know. I don't know if South Florida has it in the tank. I like their quarterback. I think Miami's actually pretty good. What do you think? What are the chances South Florida does it again?
I don't know, man. It's like if the Little Giants played the Cowboys again, do they beat them? Probably not. I
Probably
don't
not.
know. They
Just
never
that
played
one
again.
time.
They only
Just that
played them
one
once.
time.
That's right. So they only played them once. But I don't know. I mean, like you said, like is this South Florida team for real? Are we just now, or is one of those things like we're about to find out when they beat Miami, or is Miami going to come out and just buzzsaw them, and we're
Yeah,
going to have to, we're going to have to recognize Miami because Miami, we were wondering how good are they going to be coming into this year, and so far they've looked pretty good as well. So that's kind of where I'm at with this, and I mean, history tends to lead towards the big dogs, lead towards Miami
it does.
in this. So
Football for
we'll
sure.
see if South Florida's run comes to an end, or if South Florida goes, "Hey guys, we're legit, we're
I
here."
tell you what, if South Florida can keep this game competitive and then they can go on and win the American, I think they're a shoe-in to get the G5 spot in the playoff. If they can just keep it
Yeah,
competitive, you already have the Boise State win, and then you'd have a Florida win, and you keep this close, and then obviously you're going to have to go win the American. I think South Florida would be a shoe-in. I mean, they're the favorites to win the American now. Um, so
their resume itself. I mean, golly, like you said, two, and then a close one possession loss at Miami. You've got
yes,
two top 25 road wins, and then a close one possession loss. If they really put the emphasis on the schedule, like they said they're going to,
said they
you'd have to
were.
put South Florida in.
I agree. Earlier game, number 6, Georgia. We'll get to see how good they are. They played two cupcakes. They're on the road at number 15, Tennessee. Same for Tennessee. We'll get to see how good Tennessee is. This line started over 7, and
Woo.
they have bet Tennessee heavy at that number. Now Tennessee's getting 3.5 at home against Georgia. Um, what are your thoughts here? Tennessee's quarterbacks looked pretty good. Basically traded quarterbacks with UCLA. They won that trade. Nico
Yeah.
Amamalava has looked terrible at UCLA. They're 0-2. Joey Aguilar's looked pretty good for Tennessee. A couple blowouts. Tennessee plus 3.5. That's a close number. The Georgia Bulldogs didn't look great last week against, I forgot. They looked pretty good against
Austin
Marshall.
P.
Austin P. They struggled against Austin P in the second half last week. Now, granted, I mean, they won 38-3, I think it was. Um, but then they could have called some dogs off there, pun intended there. Called the dogs off the second half to save up for Tennessee. How do you see this game? It's hard for me to pick against Georgia, especially if this number would get to 3. I think I'd be all over the Bulldogs, even though on the road. But I just don't know if Tennessee has what it takes. but at the same time, I don't know which team is legit here. History tells me, Kirby Smart tells me it's Georgia. What are your thoughts, Jimmy?
Well, first off, I agree with everything you said. The Nico let, if the rumors are true, Nico let his family, his dad, or whoever talk him out of a great situation to succeed. Uh, to now go out to UCLA and not have any success. And sure, you got a little more money, but now you've hurt yourself probably in your draft stock, and because it's not like you went out to USC to play under like Lincoln Riley, or either you went to UCLA and you're now 0-2. So good luck.
Yeah.
And your replacement looks real good. So
Yes, it
imagine
does.
how good you'd look in that offense,
Yep.
you
And
know.
second
So
year.
yeah.
Oh, I
And I
I've
will
watched
say,
Nico. I watched him against Utah, and I saw his box score last week. If I'm a scout, I write next to his name undraftable.
I
He's
mean,
not good.
yeah. And at least you could fool people when you're in an offense like that. You could, like at Tennessee, you could at least fool people into drafting you.
Yep.
Then you're going to get a bunch of money. Plus, Tennessee's one of those teams, one of those fan bases that starve for success. Somebody would have ponied up money for you eventually. All you'd have to do is keep winning. You know,
Yep.
UCLA, you're going to get out there. They don't care much. I mean, they've
No.
got basketball and baseball, volleyball, softball. They've got a lot of other sports they've been better at for a longer time that they're probably more willing to put money into than football. So just stupid all the way around. I've got a bet on this later,
Okay.
but I always say when you're playing a weaker opponent, you should blow them out. I mean, you should blow them out unless there's extenuating circumstances, new quarterback, new coach, new OC. There's random stuff that obviously goes into it, like Texas San Jose State. I consider Arch a new quarterback. I'm going, okay, 38 to whatever it was. I'm going, all
Seven.
right,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm going, defense, but Arch, they're still working out the kinks with him. He's
Still
basically
working
a new
out.
quarterback.
He looked
That's a
better.
reason
Yeah,
to
looked
me to
better,
not
but
blow a
still.
team out.
Yeah.
Austin P, 28-6. Georgia, get out of here. Now you beat Marshall 45-7. That is correct. That's how you should beat an underdog. Tennessee 45-26 on Syracuse. Like, okay. Syracuse was a dark horse there in the ACC. 72-17 against East Tennessee State. Like we'll see. Georgia better come ready to play.
They better.
They better not pull this 28-6 crap on Tennessee, and they're going to look up and it's not going to be
And
good.
Neyland Stadium in Tennessee, it's no joke. They're going to be
Yeah.
rowdy. I can't remember the last time they beat Georgia. Now, they beat Bama twice in the last couple years.
Mhm.
I don't know when's the last time they beat Georgia. So they'll be rowdy. They'll be primed for that one. Probably the biggest game. It's the night game. It's the premier game of the weekend. Number 16, Texas A&M will go to South Bend, Indiana, take on number 8, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's holding steady at a 6.5 point favorite. I will say Notre Dame, they lost to Miami, and then they had a bye last week. So they've had 2 weeks to prepare for the Aggies. From what I've seen, I think A&M is probably the better football team, but they've played 2 games. I worry about Notre Dame having the bye week, and this is a desperate spot for Notre Dame. Here's why: you already lost to Miami. If you go 10-2, you probably get into the playoffs if you're Notre Dame. But the problem is they don't have the schedule after this. Their schedule is significantly weaker unless USC ends up being a pretty good team, and early indications look like they are. They're not ranked in the AP yet, which I think is ridiculous. They're a top 25 team from what I've seen, but Notre Dame just doesn't have the schedule the rest of the way. So this is a desperate spot for Notre Dame. A&M, would they love to win it? Absolutely. But they have the schedule. They play some opponents. If they were to drop this one, they can still control their own destiny because they'll have some opportunities for some big wins to prove their point. So Notre Dame could be a desperate spot for them. And A&M's defense has not looked good. They gave up a lot of points to Utah State and then week one UTSA, and it's been the rush defense. UTSA ran all over them. So I would expect A&M's defense would be a little bit better than it's been. What are your thoughts on this one, A&M? And I will say this: this is a spot. When's the last time A&M's won a game like this? When they are featured, it's prime time, marquee game. I mean, when's the last time A&M?
Did they win that LSU, the one that they changed the overtime rule for?
I mean, that one, but that was both
That's
teams
probably
ranked
it.
high, maybe. Or when they beat Alabama a couple years ago when that kid made the kick. That was
That
probably the
freshman
last
kid. I don't
time.
know if they were ranked or not.
I'm not
I can't
sure.
remember.
But this just the A&M, this is if you're an A&M fan, you know these are the kind of games in the past the Aggies have let you down. This is a big time spot for them. I'm excited to watch this game. I think we're going to learn a lot about both teams. What's your thoughts, A&M, Notre Dame?
I think it's a must win for Notre Dame.
Yep.
Like you said, you've got a couple games on the schedule that you can really use for the committee, and you've already lost one of them. And this is one you cannot lose. You have to minimum go 2-1. And like you said, USC, this A&M game. If I'm Notre Dame, I'm going, holy crap, guys, we got to get this together. We came in some national title favorite, some folks thinking, we're really going to do something this year. We come out, we lay an egg against Miami. Okay, well now we got to come back. Yeah, they got to fix the problem at quarterback. I like them everywhere else. They've got to get Carr more reps. They got to get him. They got to get some confidence in him. If they can get him rolling, I think they're going to be fine. But yeah, this is a must-win situation for Notre Dame. And like you said, A&M's in the SEC. They're going to have schedule. They're going to be fine. Uh, you just got to win the games on your schedule if you're A&M. If you're Notre Dame, you have to win this. There's no way around it.
Two things. I don't have a pick for the show today, but I think I'm gonna have a pick on Coffee with Krita. Shout out! I went 4-1 last week. Coffee with Krita. I put that out every Saturday morning on my Instagram page. Um, here's what I'm leaning towards. Notre Dame might have the best running game in the country. The two-headed monster. Jeremiah Love could be the best running back in the country, and then Jadarian Price from right down the street in Denison, Texas. He's a pretty good number two. So Notre Dame's and they got big offensive linemen, and A&M's given up some rush first two games. So I like Notre Dame's offense there. And then A&M, I'm not sold on Marcel Reed, but I think he's primed for a big game, and why not this one in prime time? I like A&M's receivers though, and A&M's got a really good running stable of running backs as well. I mean, they're loaded running back, but there's these receivers at Kramer and then Concepcion. They got some receivers now at A&M that can play. I think this could be a good spot for some offense.
I like it.
So,
I like
uh,
it.
anyway, so
Real.
that's a big one. A&M, Notre Dame, night game. Excited for it. There's also some other big games, not ranked versus ranked, but you have like Clemson, Georgia Tech. That one opened up at like 9, 10 points. The Vegas heavy on Georgia Tech. It's down to 3.5. Georgia Tech's at home. Georgia Tech, they're a scary team. They haven't looked great, but they look like Georgia Tech, where they play in a phone booth and they just control the game.
Mhm.
And then you got so another big game I know is LSU hosting Florida. Of course, Florida just lost, but that's a big one. Also, I think we get to learn a little bit about your Arkansas Razorbacks this week. They're on the road to Ole Miss. Ole Miss kind of struggled last week with Kentucky, but they always struggle with Kentucky. But I'll say
Mhm.
this, as an Arkansas fan, you know this, that Arkansas Ole Miss game is always crazy. It's always wild. It's
Always
always fun.
crazy.
Always wacky.
7 overtime games with Eli. I think then of course the swine intervention, the
Yeah.
Hunter Henry
Yes.
heave
What
back.
go watch
Uh,
the YouTube highlights of that game. Hunter Henry against Ole Miss. What year was that? You remember?
uh, well, Bielema was the coach, so it would have been
Like 15, 16,
15, something like
14,
that,
15. It's
16,
somewhere. It was a
somewhere
heck of a
around there.
game.
Yeah.
Also, Alabama hosts Wisconsin. That I could see that being a blow. I don't. Wisconsin's 2-0, but I know Alabama didn't look great against Florida State, but I could see that being a blowout. Let's see. Is there any other? Oh, you got Pitt, West Virginia, backyard brawl. It's always a fun one to watch.
Yep.
Um, who else? I mean, there's a good chunk of games I'm excited to watch. Oh, Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, I think, should be ranked. That's another team I think should be ranked in the AP. If I was a voter, I'd have Vanderbilt ranked. 2-0. Started off slow against Virginia Tech last week and then dominated the fourth quarter. South Carolina is undefeated, hosting Vanderbilt. That's a night game. That'll be a fun one to watch. So, should be a great weekend of college football. Good chunk of games to watch.
Hey, and I
All
got
right.
something for you going back to Georgia, Tennessee. You got to go back to 2016, the last time Tennessee beat Georgia,
Okay.
34-31. Okay. And then they beat them two in a row. So going back 2015, 38-31. So both those are one possession games. Other than that, Georgia has just blown the brakes off of them. You have to go all the way back to 2009 to find a Tennessee blowout, 45-19 of Georgia. So 2009. Other than that, since 2009, they have beat them twice, and it's been by one possession each time. Other than that, it has been heavy Georgia, with Georgia blanking them. Looks like the worst loss was 41-0. So, yeah, history is not on Tennessee's side.
That's 16 games. So Georgia is 13-3 in the last since 2009. Georgia's 13-3
Yeah,
against Tennessee.
yeah.
Wow. All right. I can't that's crazy. I don't remember beating them back to back in 15 and 16. But there you go. Georgia's dominated that series. All right, let's go to our picks segment. Picks. Last week we were both 4-4. Um, not the worst start we've ever had, not the best. But I think we both when we jumped on here, we both have the same philosophy that was very fruitful for us 2 years ago. And the reason I will get to it last week it was like the unders were 11-1 last week, by the way, in the NFL.
Unreal.
So I think we're both going to be on unders when it comes to NFL. So I think you said you got 10. I have 7, 4 college games and 3 NFL games. I'll start. You were on Arkansas over last week, uh, and we got it. And I'm going to be on the Arkansas Razorbacks, Ole Miss over again. Like I said, that game's always wacky, always a lot of points. 62. It opened up at like 58 and a half. If you got it then, great. If not, I still like it at 62. I think this game is in the 60s. I think Arkansas is better than I thought they were. And we'll find out more this week when they play Ole Miss. Ole Miss might not be as good, but Taylor Green, they can score points. Arkansas can score points. I like Arkansas Ole Miss over 62.
I tell you one thing, I didn't have a bet on this game because, it could go either way. And I don't know. Ole Miss, one thing I will say, if a coach tells you he's got three quarterbacks, he doesn't have a quarterback.
True.
And that's Ole Miss is running into right now. They don't have a quarterback that I believe Lane Kiffin believes in to hand the ball to and go, "You're my guy.
Yep.
Let's lead us out on the field." And you're a quarterback. Your psyche, when you know the team's not yours and you know every incomplete pass,
All
every
hit.
drop, even if it's a drop, a tip pass,
Yep.
wrong read, whatever, you're kind of looking over your shoulder going, am I going to get subbed out? So look for that to play into it as well. If not this game, all season long. I'm like, that's just crazy. But anyway, so sticking on the over train, I'm going back to the well. Oregon Northwestern. Give me over 49 and a half. Dude,
Oregon might
Oregon.
do that himself.
Oregon might do that themselves. I mean, Northwestern just is one of those schools that people like to root for, but they're not good. Oregon is good. Oregon's them. Uh, Give me over 49 and a half. It's supposed to be decent weather. I don't see why Oregon can't hit this themselves. So I'm going back to the well till they prove me wrong.
Oregon could be the best team in the country. I mean, that's how good they've looked. I called that one on Coffee with Creed last week. Minus 28 just wasn't enough. Pray for the Pokes.
No,
Okay, I got
yeah.
another college over. Appalachian State and Southern Miss. You got two just awful defenses. Through 2 weeks, they rank towards the bottom in uh, in Division One football and defense. And here's the other kicker. They both run up tempo offenses. So you're going to get a lot of chances here. Both defenses stink. It's fast paced. The number's only 56. I like the over just because both defenses are terrible. Appalachian State, Southern Miss, over 56.
Like it. Keep it going. Oregon State, Texas Tech. Texas Tech, another team that's just putting up points. and Oregon State, not very good. Over 62 and a half. It's in Lubbock. The fans are going to be rocking. They have a lot of hope out there now that old boy sold his company and they feel like they're big NIL players. So I think the stadium's going to be rocking. 62 and a half, not enough. Give me Oregon State, Texas Tech over 62 and a half. I still cannot believe Oregon's was only 49 and a half. I'd hop on that, do whatever you want, but
Yeah,
two overs right out of the gate for me.
could be free money. Yeah, so four overs combined between us. All right, Tulane and Duke. I had Duke. Duke was my one loser last week in Coffee with Credo. They turned it over 5 times. This is just I'm a pissed off bet here. Tulane's at home hosting Duke. Now, the quarterback for Duke, Mensa, went from Tulane to Duke. I think now Tulane's got the BYU Jew,
Mm-hmm.
BY Jew, because he uh, you know, did what
Kept
20,
live or
yeah,
something
he
like
did
that.
what
Yeah.
22-year-old kids do, and he dated a girl, so they kicked him out of BYU. Now he's at Tulane. I
Mm.
think Tulane wins this football game. Tulane minus 1.5 hosting Duke.
Yeah, he's a pretty good quarterback too. He
Yep.
can beat you with his arm or his legs. I like that bet. Florida and LSU. Give me LSU -7. Florida may not be as good as some thought. DJ Lagway, I don't even know, man. Like I'm sorry, buddy. You got to go to Baton Rouge and play an LSU team that
Yeah.
they might be they might be really, really good, really special this year. Seven's not going to be enough. So give me LSU -7 over Florida.
Cal Bears host Minnesota. Minnesota hasn't looked as good this year. Cal's looked better than I thought. Minnesota's got to travel West Coast. That's a long trip all the way to Berkeley. I think Cal getting 3. I like the home team. It's late night game. It's like 9:30 Central Time. It's a little too late for Minnesota to play some football. Cal, it'd be 7:30. It's dinner time for them. I think the Bears are going to eat. Give me Cal +3 at home against Minnesota.
Like it. How many more college you got?
That was my last college one.
I got two college left, so I'll rapid fire them. UMass, Iowa, under 43 and a half. That's
Good
the
call.
first under of the year for me in college. UMass may not score. Iowa doesn't score a lot. Under 43 and a half. And my last one, Georgia, Tennessee. Give me Tennessee +3 and a half. Like I said earlier, when you play lesser opponents, you should blow them out. You should blow them out.
Yep.
Tennessee, of the two teams, has looked the best against their lesser opponents. Really, they've only played one. Syracuse is a ACC but they beat the brakes off East Tennessee 28-6 against Austin P. I'm going, I don't care. Your backups and your third string should be better than anything Austin P has ever recruited. And you can only manage 4 touchdowns. Give me Tennessee +3 at home, 3.5, excuse me, at home in Neyland.
Don't forget the hook. It is 3.5. Get
Right.
that hook in there. All right. NFL. I got 3 NFL bets. NFC
Got
North
5.
game. Bears, Lions. Lions didn't look great. Bears were winning against the Vikings and then blew it. But that's a big number in the NFL is 6.5. I think the Bears keep this within a touch or yeah, within a one score. 6.5, I think is too many. You can buy the half point to get it to 7, but they're gonna cost a pretty penny to do that in the NFL. But I think the Bears keep it tight. Lions probably win, but I think it's a field goal game. Give me the Bears +6.5 at the Detroit Lions.
My first one, Rams and Titans, under 42. Titans rookie quarterback Cam Ward. The Rams, Stafford injury, kind of, will he play, will he not play? We played last week. I just don't think they can get enough. This strikes me as they're going to drive down the field and then maybe either field goal or a stall out and have to punt. And then kind of the other team does the same thing. Before you know it, you look up and it's 10-0 halftime or 10-3 halftime or something. So give me under 42 Titans and Rams.
All right. My next 2 bets are under bets in the NFL. Unders were, I think, 11-1 last week.
Yep.
Unreal. Or maybe 11-1 in the Sunday games. Uh, Seahawks, Steelers. Seahawks were a top 5 defense last year. So were the Steelers. Seahawks defense looked great week 1. Steelers did not. They gave us some points to the Jets. Also, Rodgers was on fire, but he was playing his old team. Seahawks was a way better defense than the Jets. I think this stays under 40. I think it's a close, low scoring game. Seahawks, Steelers under 40.
I like it. I got another under as well. Pats Dolphins under 42. Just I don't Tua's just not that good, man.
No, they're
I just
terrible.
I don't know what anybody can say, and you'll never get him to admit it. And I don't blame him being a competitor, but he is just like concussions. There's
Concussion.
no way he's not worried at every time he takes a hit. And you say, well, no, you can't have that mentality. Da da da. Okay, watch him play. He's off. There's something about him. He's not the same guy he was when they first got him. Give me the under. I mean, the Pats, they haven't been the same since Brady
Their
left.
offense stinks too.
They're terrible. So give me under 42, Pats Dolphins.
Broncos Colts under 43 and a half. Broncos, I think, were the number one defense in the league last year. Their offense looked terrible week one, so that plays into our hands. Colts look great against the Dolphins, and the Colts defense is really good. I don't think the Colts offense is as good as it was last week. I think the Dolphins just terrible. I think this is an under game. Broncos Colts under 43 and a half.
I have the same one for the same reasons. You've got two teams. Defenses, Broncos have historically had a good defense.
Yep.
Colts defense is better than we thought. Both teams offensively, I just think stink. And yeah, that's the recipe for an under. So give
Daniel
it to me.
Jones doesn't do that 2 weeks in a row. No way.
No, absolutely not.
All right. What do you got? Two left?
So I got two left. 49ers and Saints. Under 41. Purdy's probably not playing. Kittle's not playing. Juwan Jennings may not play. Steve Young's not playing. Montana's not playing.
Jerry Rice
Roger
ain't playing either.
Craig, Rice, name it. They're not playing. So, and then the Saints, I don't know who Rattler, Tyler Show for
They're not
Show,
good.
however you say that. They stink. They're not good. Under 41. Give me the under Alvin Kamara on this. 49ers and Saints under 41. And my last one, Giants Cowboys under 44 and a half. I don't know. I think the Cowboys win this game. I wanted to hop on 5.5, but this could be a 24
Yes.
20 game. I didn't want to do that. So give me the under 44 and a half. I just don't think the Giants will have enough offense to score enough to put this in danger. And I don't know if we'll be able to score enough to put it in danger. If anything, I think worst case scenario, I think we break this ourselves, but I don't even think that happens. Just
Yeah.
I think we run the football, and everything I saw from these two teams in the first little while of the NFL season is under 44 and a half.
All right, here's the recap. First for Jimmy, college, Oregon, Northwestern over 49 and a half, Oregon State, Texas Tech over 62 and a half, LSU -7, UMass, Iowa under 43 and a half, Tennessee plus 3.5. In the NFL, he's got Rams, Titans under 42, Pats, Dolphins under 42, Broncos, Colts under 43 and a half, 49ers, Saints under 41, Giants, Cowboys under 44 and a half. Myself, college, I got Arkansas, Ole Miss over 62, App State, Southern Miss over 56, Tulane -1.5. Cal plus 3, NFL Bears plus 6.5, Seahawks Steelers under 40, Broncos Colts under 43.5. That's our show. Thanks for joining us. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, check us out. We'll be back next week. Have fun watching football this weekend, boys. See you next week.